Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my second alternative project using the January 2022 paper pumpkin kit called Kisses and Hugs. This fun kit creates 10 cards. You have 2 different designs, and so you have enough supplies to make 5 of each card design. These are fun fold cards. They're called tri-fold, and it was just really fun to put these cards together. If you're interested in seeing me unbox the kit or create these cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner, and it will take you to my unboxing video where you can watch that. If you're also interested in seeing my other alternative projects made with this kit, you can click on that playlist and it will take you to the rest of the videos as I post them on YouTube. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button and then the bell for notifications. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see me use today, or if you're interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, you can do so through my online store, and the link is in the description box below. So the fun thing about this card is that it takes that original card base from the kit, and we do a different fold with it. This fold is called a gate fold. And it really just puts more emphasis on that middle section where you can write your message. And I love how it incorporates both of the patterns into the front of the card. I think that's really cute too. So to begin, you're going to take your card base and your paper trimmer. You want to use your scoring blade here. Please do not use the cutting blade, or you will be very sad and be cutting your hearts in half. What you're looking for is the center of the heart, which is up here, and then the center of the bottom part of the heart, and you want to line that up with your cutting guide on your paper trimmer. Then take your scoring blade and just run that back and forth. And then you'll want to do the same on the other heart. So you're doing these to both the left and the right hearts when you have your card base open. Just going to adjust that a little bit and score. Now you will want to have a bone folder to make some nice creases here. So you're going to start, let's start by actually folding this in half, right along the original score line, so you're covering up, and then you'll just fold this back so that everything meets, and use your bone folder to make a nice crease along that edge. And then do the same here on this side. Now when you fold back on this score line, you will want to double check that they kind of are meeting together in the center. And if they don't meet perfectly and there's a little gap, that's okay. I think the heart in the middle is just a little bit bigger. Okay, so then you'll have a card base that looks like this and opens like this. If you want, you can keep the top flaps open and not adhere them down. The only problem with that is they do have a tendency to kind of pop up. So to keep them down, I'm going to just add a little adhesive to the white side and then lay the top part of that heart on top of the adhesive. And that's just going to hold everything down so that you can just open it and see all that beautiful pattern instead of the white on the inside. All right, so now the only other thing we need to do is decorate the front of this card. I want to create something that's very similar to what I've done for the very vanilla card. But I do want to save these die cuts from the kit for some other projects. So I'm going to use the other die cuts. I do still have a vellum heart and one of the white gold foiled hearts from the kit. So I'm going to use both of those. So another fun thing that I've done to this card is I've added some Wink of Stella to the top blushing bride layer. That just gives it a really fun shine and helps kind of bring the card all together. I want to do that same thing to my white heart here. So I've got my Wink of Stella. Just want to make sure that you shake down, and if you need to squeeze just a little bit to get the ink flowing. Sometimes I also will twist it a little bit to open that up a little. And then you can just add that right to the center. I'm not going to go along the outside edge. I'm going to keep it to the center of the heart here. Just a nice, simple technique here to really just make your card a little bit more wow. And you just want a nice thin layer of glitter there. I'm not sure if you are picking up on that really pretty shine that is on that paper now. So this is just going to get set off to the side to dry, and we're going to add our vellum piece to our card. So I want that to be in the center, and I do need to add some adhesive onto whichever side you want it to attach to. So for this one's adhered to the left side, and then it covers the right side but not attached so that you can open the card. So I'm going to do the same here. Vellum's tricky, so you don't want to add too much adhesive. You just want to place it where you know you'll be covering it up with your white heart piece. Okay, so that's adhered right there. So the next thing I want to do is stamp the Love You. And what I'm going to do is take the extra piece of paper that's left when you punch out the die cuts. And the reason for this is because I want that same color of white paper. So I want to use this section right here, and I'm going to cut a strip that is 3/8 of an inch in thickness. So just line that up on my paper trimmer and cut down. And then I want a piece that's about 2 inches is where I did my original one. I might trim that down just depending on how it looks on this particular card. So next I'm going to stamp my greeting, which I'm going to use the Love You, and I'm doing that with the gray granite ink spot that came in the kit. Just ink that up nicely and stamp that in the center of the strip. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp on my heart. So I wanted to make sure that had time to dry. You don't want to stamp onto wet Wink of Stella or you'll get your ink will bleed. So I'm going to stamp the heart images that came in the kit that were part of the stamp set. And I'm also going to stamp the arrow. And I have a little trick for you with that arrow. So we get a similar look to this one, but it's obviously going to be a little bit smaller. I want to start with my Flirty Flamingo ink and the outline heart. And I've placed it on a larger block so that I can get a better idea of if it's in the center of this heart that I'm stamping on so that I can see the whole thing. So you just want to stamp right in the center with Flirty Flamingo ink. Next, I'm going to use Blushing Bride, and this is going to be the solid heart that will be stamped inside the outline heart. So again, just kind of make sure that you stamp that as close to the center as you can. So you'll get something that looks like this. And then we're going to do the arrow. So what I want to create is a look like the arrow is going behind the heart. I don't want it to actually go over the heart like I did here. I want it behind it. And the reason for that is so that I can actually make it longer. So if you look closely here, it's pretty tight with that shape. And I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I need to do something to make sure that that arrow is going to stay straight when I stamp it, because I'm going to separate it. So I'm going to take a ruler and my pencil, and I'm just going to draw a straight line on both sides of the heart, lightly with a pencil. So then I'm going to take the arrow image, and I'm going to make sure it's clean, and then I'm going to stamp off to make sure I don't get any like ghost images. And I'm going to line up the top of the arrow with the top of that marking and just kind of get an idea of how much I need to ink. So I'm just going to lay that down and bring it up so you can see. So right there where it meets the Flirty Flamingo is kind of the general idea of how much I need to ink. I want to ink just the tip of that arrow, okay? just maybe a little bit further down. So I'm going to take my gray granite and just ink up just the tip of that arrow here. And then I want to line it back up with the pencil mark and stamp. Okay, so you'll see when I get close up that I only inked up the tip of the arrow and it's just sitting outside the edge of the Flirty Flamingo, and it goes all the way across the heart here. So there is a close-up of the image after it's been stamped. So now we need to just clean it because again we have ink on there. Stamp off, and then we're going to do the exact same thing for the bottom here. So just get an idea, line it up with the pencil mark, get an idea of how far you need to ink, and then ink up that arrow, the bottom of the arrow, and then you're going to try to see the pencil line through it, make sure it's going straight through, and then stamp. Okay, so you'll get a arrow going behind your stamped image. Now you could probably also do like a masking technique, that would work as well, but I think this one is just a really good one, especially keeping that arrow nice and straight. All right, so coming back to our card base, we're now going to add our heart to the vellum piece, and I'm just going to do that with some dimensionals to give it some depth and dimension. And that's just going to go right in the center of the vellum heart. So you'll get something that looks like this. And then we're going to add the love you. Now this may be a little bit long. So you see here, this is the same length that I did on my first card. So that's 2 inches, but I'm thinking I need to cut off about 1/4 of an inch on each side. So the final dimension would be closer to 1.5 inches. So to do that, I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer and eyeball about 1/4 of an inch off each side. I think that's going to give me a better length for the smaller heart. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I do want to pop that up with some of these small mini dimensionals that came in the kit. You could also use the edge if you want. They fit perfectly behind that 3/8 of an inch strip that I stamped on. And that just goes right in the center of the heart, just like that. Then the last thing we want to do is just add some of the sequins that came in the kit. And I placed one just up in the top left corner of that heart here. If you want to add more, you can as well. Maybe place one down there, and then maybe even one on the card base. Okay. All right. So this fun fold card is done. I love how the Blushing Bride has a nice blank area in the center where you can write your message. Now, before I leave, I'd like to just quickly mention that if you like to make your cards into like the standard size, which is the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base size, these hearts do fit nicely on that type of card base. So you do need to have your card base be horizontal, and it will go all the way to the top and bottom of that card base. And I'll just quickly show you what that looks like on the Very Vanilla. This is just a really fun card idea. You can do it simply by itself, or if you add it to a card base, then it gives you some more room to write. And then you also have this fun opening part to the card front. So that's just another little idea if that's something that you want to make, is to create like the fold card look. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun gatefold card from the original card bases from the January 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you're interested in subscribing to get your own monthly kit, please use the subscription link in the description box below. If you'd like to get written instructions or see close-up images of this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.